It is my belief that everything happens for a reason. And while this is a phrase that has also over time become somewhat of a cliche that lacks any sort of original thought or sincerity, it is my belief that it may still ring true today in many instances. Whilst I am by no means a believer in fate or destiny, it does seem as if events that are especially hard or trying oftentimes result in the most generous of rewards and benefits. The famous quote, "Everything happens for a reason," was first quoted by ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, as he states, "Everything happens for a reason, always. Every experience in your life is designed to shape you and help you grow into the highest and mightiest version of yourself." So is it true that this simple quote that has been quoted over and over, time and time again, still rings true even in the present day? Well, I recently had to experience something that, for me, was extremely difficult not only to go through but to process. I had to not only witness the death of my grandfather, but I had to attempt to resuscitate him, knowing that if he woke up, he would be forever paralyzed due to a lack of oxygen. It was, and still is, extremely hard for me to think about, talk, and process. At first, and even now, it has been something that has not only been a traumatic but life-changing event. At some point, I had to realize that the amount of excruciating pain he was in truly didn't equate to the wants of me and my family for him to be alive. At a certain point, I had to come to the realization that it is actually better that he is finally at peace. And I had to realize that death is a natural part of life that everyone must go through. This situation taught me a valuable lesson, that every life experience can in some way teach you something that you would have failed to realize without that particular experience, and that even in the darkest of times, there is a reason for what you are currently experiencing. However, it is understandable that there are certain events that are so unexpected and unpredictable that it seems as if there is no possible way that that event could have occurred by chance. There's a doctrine called Tychism that was created by American philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce that is titled after the Greek word for chance. The doctrine states that the idea of chance is an objective property of chance, which essentially means that most events are inherently unpredictable. However, I must disagree. Whilst there is no way of predicting or knowing if the universe has some way of aligning itself to chart out events or cause events to happen, it is my belief that all events happen because there is a lesson to be learned from that said event. It is my belief that every difficult experience happens for a reason. As in the words of Einstein, every situation has an equal and opposite reaction, meaning that almost every situation or occurrence in life happens simply because there was a reason for that occurrence. And in turn, there is something that can be learned from that situation or occurrence. It is a natural part of life that as humans, we must encounter failures and despairs. But this is also the reason why we must learn to accept, if not embrace, these temporary obstacles that obstruct or inhibit our goals at that moment in order to reap the benefits and lessons that life is trying to teach us at that moment in time. Even in our hardest and darkest of times, it is important that we must attempt to find a light at the end of the tunnel, so we can take that moment for what it is, a simple trial that you are sure to overcome and reminisce upon with a newfound wisdom and strength.